Hello and welcome back. I'd like to share with you today some of my Hoya in my collection. It is a collection that is increasing constantly and I'm enjoying growing these gorgeous flowers. I have a small collection here in bloom and some I just want to show you the foliage. Oh, as you see, we have a fly sitting there. This Puba-Calyx has pom-poms at the moment the size of my hands, full of those gorgeous blooms with sticky nectar, and they smell divine. Clearly that fly's enjoying it. So this was one of my first Hoyas. Oops, sorry about that fly. I find this an easy plant to grow. It's vining really well and it's been flowering for me every year since I've had it. I do have this high in my greenhouse in a water well pot. The foliage did suffer a little with all the rain last year. We had 6 months of rain. You'll see another bloom back there. But generally, it's recovering well and looking really healthy. I have this hanging up on my deck at the moment high, so I can walk underneath it and admire the blooms. Now this Hoya is a recent acquisition, Hoya fungii or fungii. I bought this one because I'm really into plants that when they're not in bloom, but to my surprise this one has now a peduncle, it's about to bloom, so I'm excited for that. But I love the plants that have gorgeous foliage, so when they're not in bloom you can still enjoy having them round. I do love leaves anyway, but I just think these ones are stunning. Gorgeous dark green veins on there, and that's what actually intrigued me to the plant when I first saw it. This next plant is, the blooms have actually, they're all spent now, but I've had this up high in the greenhouse and it's not in a water well pot. You can see there's a lot of yellowing there. There's the end of the spent blooms. Now I'll show you in the next frame coming up, you'll see it in bloom. But I'm just going to lower this one in the greenhouse now and consider putting that into a water well pot. I think it might aid the health of the plant somewhat. This plant here, Hoya kerrii green, yes, the lovely love heart leaves. I've struggled with this since I've had it. Again, it's not in a water well pot, and the blooms have come out only a small cluster, and I understand they're only tiny, but I was probably expecting something a little bigger. That's how much I know about Hoya. Nonetheless, I find this one challenging. It's not a rapid grower like the other ones. And the one stalk it came with seems to just get longer and longer, and I've had no new growth from the bottom. I welcome any tips on this. I find this Hoya quite a challenge, sadly. At the back here I have a Hoya Puba-Calyx pink silver. Another plant that actually caught my eye because it does have pink and silver splash on the leaves. This one's not the best specimen. I have another one also, but it is currently not in bloom. So the foliage again is very appealing when it is not in bloom. The flowers on this one, you'll see one there's a bunch there yet to open, but the flowers on this one are actually quite sizable. I believe they're a little larger than the Hoya Puba-Calyx pink on the left. Nonetheless, a darker pink, they're just beautiful blooms. And this is the first time this one has bloomed for me also. Much larger blooms on these than on the kerrii green. I'm going to show you now the Shepherdell when it was in bloom. This was down in the greenhouse. The cluster was a lot more spread, not as condensed as the Puba-Calyx. This is the pink silver cluster. And there's the Shepherdell, one to open and one already open. And these gorgeous little fuzzy edged blooms. Very, very pretty flower. This was a few of my Hoya in the greenhouse. That's my Crimson Queen, because the Queen is green, not to be confused with Pink Princess. It's vining like crazy and it's put out a completely almost soft pink leaf for me at the moment, which is just adorable. Again, another foliage plant that I can enjoy all year round and even enjoy more when it's in bloom too. I've got a small example of a leaf. This is one here, not the best example, but you'll see a little bit of the grey and pink on there. This was one of my Hoya pubicalyx red buttons. And here's the pink silver once again. Stunning, stunning flowers. This is my Vasiliata. I brought it up from the greenhouse because it was in bloom. It's a very small plant, and I went out the other night and there was a cockroach on there eating the sap. This isn't the best footage, but it'll give you an idea of the size of the plant, and I was so surprised to get blooms on it. This one also is not in a water well pot, and I can see a lot of yellowing there, so I'm just going to monitor the height of them in my greenhouse. It's been very hot the last few days and I am concerned about them, or it could be that they need that little bit more water. I have more green foliage in plants where I've got them potted in water well pots. This one smells divine. So my favourite so far this summer would be this Pubicalyx pink silver bloom. Thanks for watching, keep collecting and happy growing.